On the Mount of Olives, Jesus warned his disciples that nations would rise against nations and kingdoms against kingdoms, and fear would fill many hearts. In Jerusalem's marketplace, Roman soldiers watched while merchants and citizens argued, unrest spreading among the crowd. In the governor's hall, leaders quarreled bitterly as Pilate looked uneasy, the atmosphere tense and divided. In secret rooms, zealots prepared weapons and whispered of revolt, their faces set with determination. Outside the city, rebels in plain robes faced Roman legions in armor, dust and cries filling the battlefield. In the temple courts, priests and Pharisees disputed angrily, arguments tearing unity apart. In villages, families turned against one another, peace replaced with anger and sorrow. At the garrison, Roman soldiers readied weapons, while uneasy allies gathered nearby. On Galilean fields, farmers confronted tax collectors, coins scattering as tempers flared. In Capernaum, merchants quarreled with traders from distant lands, distrust spreading quickly. In the war camp, generals studied maps while allies argued, unity fading. In the synagogue, men shouted across the room, scrolls tossed aside in anger. Crowds in Jerusalem clashed with soldiers, shields locked as children fled in fear. In Samaria, locals and travelers shouted across rocky paths, reviving old hatred. At Caesarea's port, ships brought foreign warriors, banners raised, fishermen watching with dread. On desert roads, caravans argued, hands on swords as anger grew. In Jericho, elders and zealots disputed fiercely, unity broken before the young. In Herod's palace, leaders and Romans raised voices in anger, politics dividing the people. In the countryside, rebels fought cavalry, smoke rising from burning homes. In town squares, neighbors accused one another of betrayal, trust shattered. In Antioch, Roman senators plotted as foreign envoys quarreled bitterly. At Jerusalem's gates, guards confronted travelers, suspicion turning into shouts. Roman soldiers dragged prisoners, chains rattling as families wept. In the wilderness, allies quarreled among themselves, mistrust spreading quickly. The temple filled with smoke, priests and officers struggled near the altar, worship broken. On the battlefield, Roman banners advanced with allies, the ground trembling beneath them. In Bethlehem, villagers resisted tax collectors, narrow streets filled with shouting. From his balcony, Herod watched riots spread, smoke covering the city. In Roman courts, envoys shouted for power, alliances collapsing. In Galilean hills, rebels ambushed patrols, arrows flying in desperation. On temple steps, Pharisees and Sadducees argued bitterly, scrolls torn apart. In the desert plain, armies charged, dust rising as rage collided. Jerusalem's walls burned under siege, catapults hurling fire as families hid. At last, ruins smoldered, survivors wept among ashes. Roman banners lifted in victory.